But what we see more often is maybe 20 panels on a roof and only 15 are plugged in. Or the customer said, yeah, I bought the really good expensive panels 5 years ago, and we go up and have a look and it's like, you may have bought them, but they didn't go on your roof.
Welcome to Series 2 of the Illawarra Business Leaders. Here I peel back the layers of our rich and diverse business culture. Perfect for those interested in all things business. Now let's get into it. So the Illawarra Business Leaders continue, and I am talking to Dave Love. So Dave, you are into solar. So we're going to delve into solar, something that people don't normally think about when they're going to start to talk about what is solar. But let's delve into your company and let's delve into how do we make solar sexy. So Dave, SunPeople, tell us all about it.
Yeah, so my name's Dave. I am the managing director and co-owner of SunPeople. Mm-hmm. We are a local solar and battery business. Okay. We've been around for about 5 years now, servicing the Illawarra in the Southern Highlands, keeping it nice and close to home.
Yep. So effectively, Dave, your primary business is solar, so solar panels, that's what everyone thinks of, but there's a lot more to solar than just panels too, so tell me more about it.
Well, funnily enough, when we were thinking about starting SunPeople, the idea was let's be leaders in the battery space. Mm-hmm. But 5 years ago, there weren't a lot of options, and they were even more expensive than they are now. Yeah. But we pivoted pretty quickly to say, let's install, and I suppose more on our consultation approach with our customers, not just cookie cutter solar, I suppose, but let's get into high service, high quality solar and battery packages. And we have been outrageously busy since we kicked off.
It's gotten, I mean, everyone's talking about, like, obviously you have to build a house now, you have to have solar. Mm-hmm. Am I guessing that's part of the basics and everything?
It is, yes.
So that's grown. But then I think the talk about Tesla, the talk about Elon Musk and everything around that, has that changed your business as well?
When I talk to a customer about solar, Tesla is generally the first thing that comes up. Yeah. They want to talk about, hey, what are batteries doing? How much are they? And what will they actually do for me? What happens if I get an electric car in the future? Most people seem to be thinking about an electric car now. So does that affect the size solar system I want? Does that affect what battery I'm going to want? And also not necessarily wanting to buy the battery or the car now, but really planning for the future. Yep. And Tesla has done, I suppose, an amazing job for renewable energy everywhere as making it a talking point. Because they are a sexy looking battery. A mate of mine even sent me a message the other day of one of our recent Tesla installs and said, Dave, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but that is damn sexy.
Good looking.
Yeah, they're this sleek, amazing looking box that can go on your wall, in your garage or on the outside of your home.
It's a bit of a status now.
Absolutely. And I think most of our customers who have purchased a Tesla battery either are doing so because their very close friends have recently purchased one, or they've just got a Tesla car and realised it's quite a big deal to charge those up every day.
It's an accessory. So biggest question of the interview right now, we're going to get to the facts. Are Tesla cars sexy?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good answer. Oh, yeah. Very good answer. All right,
I was wondering, did you see this morning Tiger Woods?
Yes.
Was he driving a Tesla?
I don't know. It was half. It was in half, so we couldn't really see it.
I was looking closely to go, maybe a bit of bad publicity.
There's probably a good chance. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Why would someone choose solar?
I think solar makes absolute financial sense for everyone. Yep. If you have a power bill and an unshaded roof, it just makes sense. So it's more a matter of timing to come across the idea of solar, and once you research it, I think you will probably buy solar for your home.
Okay, so if you were, most of your customers, are they doing it for a financial gain or are they doing it for a social conscience?
Most are doing it for a financial reason. Yep. I think at the moment the environmental reasons are the icing on top. Mm-hmm. It's what makes them feel good about the purchase. But I think most of all it is, how can I get my power bill to nothing or how can I get it as low as possible?
Yeah.
Because I think power bill prices seem to still be rising, which is phenomenal. Even with all this renewable energy going in, the power bills keep going up. And it's sort of your only hedge against rising power prices.
Yeah.
Get some control back.
And I've noticed from a real estate perspective and certainly buyers, in the last probably 5 years, we've seen more buyers looking for vegetable gardens, more buyers looking for solar panels, more and getting back to those basics, and renewable energy is a big factor that buyers are looking for now too. So that has to have changed your business in some form or fashion.
And I think I see it mostly in our new building market. So we work with a lot of local builders to install solar during construction phase. And I think in that sense, I've had the feedback from our builders that they're actually finding it easier to sell a home if there is solar, or solar as an option.
Yeah.
And they're loving the fact that it's not just, hey, here's your solar package, but there are a lot of different options out there. Would you like the small, lower quality? Would you like medium? Would you like the deluxe package?
Yeah.
Would you like electric car charging, batteries and solar?
What about big developments? So if you're talking high rises in the city and things like that, are they getting on top of solar at the moment, or is that something that's just not tapped into?
You could say it's untapped.
Yeah.
We've done a project in Thirroul, an apartment block there, where we've installed a solar system on the roof of the apartment block to offset house services, so all your communal lighting in the lift.
Yep.
That one in particular, most units have an individual solar system up on that roof.
Yeah.
Quite unique though.
I've seen that. That's the pavilions, isn't it?
It is, pavilions.
Yeah. So they're very socially conscious people that are living there.
Lovely network of people, absolutely. So that's one way of doing it. Something we're working on at the moment, there's another way to do it. So installing one big solar system on a high-rise apartment block, and then divvying that up. So any unit within the complex can choose to have a segment of that big solar system and have that offset their bills.
So is that something that they have to bolt on later, or is that something that, because the developer costs, it's coming out of their profit, obviously, so is that something where it's easier to be bolted on later?
At the moment, I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. I think if there are forward-looking builders or developers who could see that's the trend. Customers, I suppose, and nearly all of us now would like to think we're being more environmentally friendly.
Yep.
If we can use renewable energy, reusable coffee cups, whatever it may be, we want to do that. I'd like to think if I was buying a brand new apartment sold in 2022 or 2023 and there was a roof space that was sitting there empty, why doesn't it have solar on it? That's actually my train of thought. It's becoming abnormal not to have solar.
And now we've just got to get developers seeing the financial benefit of that and how that's going to look in the next 5 years. Obviously, there's got to be a benefit for them. Otherwise, they're not going to do it. It's going to reduce their profit. But there's got to be a win-win there. And there's something in that. So,
absolutely.
So let's peel back the layers of your business now. Let's talk about you. So your core business is solar. How many staff have you got?
11 full-time at the moment and another 7 install partners that we work with.
All right. And are you working in the business, or are you working on the business in a predominant kind of?
Actually, 2021 has been my first few months of not working in the business as much. So really focusing, I've got a rule where I'm not allowed on the tools. I'm not allowed to pick up my pliers because I'm an electrician and a solar installer by trade as well. So there is always that desire, I suppose, to jump in and help out. But this year I've taken a really conscious step to not do that. So we've put on 3 new staff this year as the business is still growing, and it gives me a bit of freedom to step back and see the big picture.
And looking at it from a higher level. So what does that allow you to do? What does it give you time to do?
So far, I think support our staff. That's been the biggest eye-opener. So I'm actually able to have weekly meetings with our install teams, our admin team and sales team, so to discuss what's going on in the previous week, what are we planning to do for the next week. That's been the biggest change and a really positive change. But I think the other side of it is technical sales, which I suppose is a love of mine. So having a customer come to me and say, Dave, I'm building this lovely big home, might be in Kiama on a cliff edge, and we don't want to use any power from the grid. How do we do that? and then we can launch into, okay, it starts with solar. Are batteries included now, or are we just putting in provision for future batteries? What type of cars are they having? Are they having a pool? How will they heat it? All those things can come into it, and that's my love.
Yeah. And in your opinion, obviously solar's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
How, on a broad brush, how often do people, will they pay their solar off? That's the question that I guess you get.
We get, how quickly will it pay off is the question.
Yeah.
I think most customers understand it is a great return on your money, but how quickly? So for our go-to solar packages, they would pay off in under 4 years, 95% of the time. You can spend a lot less on solar than our go-to packages. We just don't like to play around in the low end of the market. At the same time, you can spend, so a common system size that you might see everywhere is 6.6 kilowatts. That's going to save you around $400 a quarter on your power bill. Our go-to solar package might be $6,500. You can spend $15,000 on that same size system if you do want to go the very best products on the market. And I feel that's our role, is to also talk about what are we offering and why. Does it make sense for you to spend $15,000? Do you plan to be in the home for 25 years? Or are you going to be leaving in 5? And that's what we talk about.
You're very much more consultative as opposed to
absolutely
selling. Let's talk you as a whole, or you as a person. You're a business leader. What does success mean to you?
It's a really good question. I think the biggest focus for us at SunPeople is customer satisfaction. So we see ourselves as a referral business, and every decision we've made so far is long-term. So we have amazing customer base. So we get constant positive reviews. Every time we get those reviews, I know every part of the business has been operating smoothly from the first time they come in and talk to our admin team through the sales process. I suppose setting up the job, the 6 weeks or so between sales and install, is a little bit complicated as well. And then our team installing, follow-up support. And when we get a glowing review at the end of that rather complicated process, that makes me know, we're running a successful business here.
Okay, so let's talk marketing. You touched on the reviews and things. How do you market your business? Where do your clients come from?
So I'm very lucky. My wife is studying marketing at UOW at the moment.
It helps, yeah.
It does, very much so.
Yeah.
So most of our customers actually come from a refer a friend program that we run. So we will mention towards the end of a job to say, if you have had a great experience, we'd love for you to refer your friends or family. We do a little bit of local marketing, such as core flute signs out the front of recently installed jobs. We have very prominent branding on our vans, so that's pretty common that a neighbour might pop in and say, oh, hey guys, I can see you're doing solar. Would you like to come and have a chat to us? We don't pay for marketing, and we haven't done for quite a long time. We actually found we've had stages of being too busy where we just couldn't service our customers the way we'd like to. So we scaled back all paid marketing, and we know if we keep doing the right thing for our customers, they continue to refer, and it keeps going.
So tell me, being a business owner, you're always the first to get there, the last to leave in most cases. How do you juggle family life and work life?
I suppose I work a lot. And I did, I suppose, in the first few years, was doing some rather outrageous work hours. Looking back now, I think that was quite necessary to put in what I'd call the hard yards. That's what got us to the point where we've got the right staff in place now, we've got the right systems in place, and we've built up our customer base. In my spare time, I'm doing triathlons at the moment. Okay. So trying to get home while it's still sunny to go for a swim or a ride or a run, whatever it might be.
Because that's never quick.
No, that's right. And I'm not a quick runner or rider, so it's even slower. But it's about the balance that we find, me and my wife at the moment. We don't have kids yet, but date nights, Tuesday night and Friday night, making sure I'm not working and I'm home at a reasonable time, and getting away as much as possible. I think that really helps keep a fresh mind. Yeah,
so it's like prioritising things. So you stay fresh, obviously. Let's talk about your first year in business. How long have you been open for now?
5 years.
So 5 years. So rewind, first year in business, it's always the hardest. It's where most people either sink or swim. How hard was it? Did it explode? Was it a slow burn?
So I was very fortunate. My business partner has run an electrical business it was about 8 years prior to kicking off SunPeople. So that really helped to have some experience behind us. I think the biggest challenge we had was finding suppliers that would trust us. That was quite challenging. Customers, they just came.
Yep.
Once we took a different approach to what I think was locally in the market, where we did want to build a really long-term business and focusing on that customer service. So once, let's say a customer might get 3 quotes, that's very common in the solar industry. When we were able to get in front of them and have a good chat and they understand we're real people, our office is just down the road, come and see us if you'd like to, and then comparing our quotes and our way of doing business with the others, the customers just came.
Sure.
I remember talking to our financial advisors early on. I was a bit stressed about, but if we keep selling too many systems, how are we going to install them? I was really, really worried about that at the time.
Good problem to have. Yeah.
And that's what they said. They said, Dave, go out there, see as many customers as you can, sell all these systems, and then deal with that problem later on. And I think that was really good advice because I was able to focus on growing the business, not the anxiety of, but how am I going to manage it when it all comes flooding in?
Best advice someone gave you?
Probably that, to be honest. To focus on one thing at a time and first things first, which was get those sales, get those customers, and then build your systems of how you're going to keep them happy.
Worry about that later.
Yeah.
Get the revenue in the front door.
I think it really was really sound advice, and it came at the right time as I was getting a bit worked up, as I'd been an electrician and an employee for about 12 years at that stage. And so, learning, okay, what is this business thing that everyone talks about? And it definitely wasn't what I'd imagined business was.
Well, it doesn't matter how good you are as a person or what you do or whatever it may be. If the income isn't coming in, there's no business. So I think it was sound advice. But in that first year, did you ever want to give up? Or did it get so hard that you thought, wow?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think continually, even a couple of years ago, there have been times, not necessarily that we were quiet. We haven't been quiet ever. We've always been almost too busy. But it's, I suppose, the state of our industry is a pretty demoralising thing at times, just in the sense there are a lot of players in the industry and not everyone is installing solar with a long-term point of view. So continually seeing what we call orphaned systems. So the company that installed them have now gone broke. There's no one to call and it's not working.
And I think that's the same with every industry. There's cowboys out there, and I'm sure there's a lot of cowboys in solar. There's cowboys in real estate. There's cowboys in every field. But I think solar has a lot of them at the moment, doesn't it?
I think it's getting better even in the last 6 months. But there's some interesting statistics such as less than 1% of solar installations actually get inspected.
Yeah, wow.
And I think that's pretty important, that they're leaving it up to trusting the business owner and trusting the tradespeople are going to do the right thing for 99% of the installs. And when you leave it, I suppose, to business owners that might not have enough time on their hands or are too stressed trying to get enough money in or whatever it might be, there's a lot of corners being cut out there.
Yeah, okay. And a bad install, where does that leave you? Is there a fire? What's the worst case scenario?
Yeah, worst case scenario is a fire. That's been in the media recently. It can be resolved with using the correct products and installing them with licensed tradespeople who know what they're doing. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So a fire event, I expect we will never have a fire event because we don't do business that way. So that's worst case scenario for sure. But what we see more often is maybe 20 panels on a roof and only 15 are plugged in. Or the customer said, I bought the really good expensive panels 5 years ago, and we go up and have a look and it's like, you may have bought them, but they didn't go on your roof.
Yeah, wow.
And everything in between.
Yeah, okay. So who inspires you in business? Is it Elon Musk?
It is in a way. The boy in me is inspired by Elon Musk.
Because he's an enigma, isn't he?
For me, he's not afraid to think big And also to talk about his big dreams.
Yeah.
I think for me, I might have big visions at times, but I might not share them. But he seems to be straight on Twitter going, hey, we're going to Mars. And he's probably going to pull it off.
That's what I love about him. He literally, he has these big ideas, and he can probably think bigger than anyone else. And there's a great book called Think Big, but he can think bigger than most, but then he backs it up as well. So
it's if you, for 10 years ago, say, looked forward and thought, is he going to do everything he's talking about? You would have to put your money on no. It's almost impossible.
Well, hasn't NASA been trying to do this for a long time, and a government organisation haven't, and he comes and does it in a heartbeat.
And I recently read Buzz Aldrin's book, I think it was, The Second Man on the Moon. And, he talks a lot about that, to say, what NASA did was quite amazing to get everything off the ground, but it was a slow, expensive process and a lot of error along the way, where I'm sure Elon Musk is having error along the way, but it's incredible what he's doing. So, he is absolutely inspiring. And I think he definitely keeps me going at the moment.
Yep.
As we are in a very similar space.
Yeah. What about locally? Is there anyone locally that kind of is really your mentor or whatever it may be?
I've actually got, I'd see as a lot of mentors. So I have quite a good network of local business owners. So my business partner, who runs a separate business, it's just fantastic to lean back on him at all times. I have local plumbing friends, carpentry friends who own their own businesses. And it's just amazing to be able to say, hey, this one's a bit interesting, can we talk this over? And to be able to do that has been so invaluable for me.
And it's just having a sounding board in most cases. And that's where a good business partner comes in, because they are a sounding board. But how important is it to you to have the right person with you along the way? Because business can be very testing. And having that wrong person that doesn't run with you or has different values, how is in your line of work?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with values. So Doug and I, my business partner, we do see eye to eye on our values, just wanting to always do the right thing and have a long-term point of view. I think we wouldn't have worked past the first year if we didn't have those same values. Vitally important. At the same time, I think our relationship has worked well because he is more of a silent partner on the day-to-day operations. So I am able to make quick decisions. I am able to sit there and have a think for 15 minutes and then know that he trusts me to just go for it, whatever I think.
What advice, obviously a lot of people who are listening to this are either in business or they're about to get into business. What advice would you give to someone that's about to set off on that business journey?
I think at the start, take your time. Understand, is it truly a good business plan that you have? Have you thought about what happens next? I think it's worth thinking about what that might be. Having a strong network and not being afraid to use it. So that was something for me early on. It's a little bit timid to make that call. I don't want to annoy them, but make that call. You'll find most people are going to be really happy to talk it over and excited to talk about your business and their business and how they compare.
People love to help too. If you reach out, and this is what people need to understand, if you reach out, people love to help, and especially if they've been there, done that. And I get calls a lot by people who are starting their own firm and things like that too. So, and especially in different areas. So, were you a planner? Did you plan a lot before you started?
We did. Yep. We planned. I'm a big planner. So, we planned for almost 6 months. So potentially too long, but we got right into it. So to the point of hand picking every single product we wanted to offer. From that reputational point of view, if I was going to put a solar panel on your roof and say it's going to last for 25 years, I wanted to trust it was going to. That was probably the biggest thing we planned. As far as business procedures, I think that took us a few years to actually get to that point. But yeah, I suppose getting into it was the most important thing as well. Once you've done your planning, you're confident, you've got a team around you, just do it.
Plan, but not too much. I think people can fail from planning too. So there's a fine line. So have you achieved everything that you set out for? You're 5 years in. Have you achieved everything?
Not at all.
No.
And it's an interesting question in the sense I don't have an end goal, and I think because of the industry we're in, there won't be an end point. So it's really exciting to now be talking to our customers about electric car chargers and how can I offer a product that allows the solar to know when it's creating excess power and turn on your electric car charger so you're only charging from renewable energy.
Yeah, wow.
Or how can I allow that inverter to turn on the electric heat pump in your pool? So yes, you're heating your pool, but only from solar, never from the grid.
Yeah.
These exciting things, they're going to keep me going.
So is solar sexy?
Solar's sexy.
Okay, last question. If you were to be able to live anywhere in the Illawarra, the Illawarra is a beautiful area, where would you be?
So when we first discovered the Illawarra, which was over 10 years ago now, me and my wife lived down near Canberra, we drove from Queensland down the coast and we hit a little spot called Austinmere. And we said, where are we? We had a little look online to see what sort of pricing of blocks of land or homes might be. And from there, I think it has been a dream of ours to live in those northern suburbs of Wollongong. Something near the water. We love walking our dog on the beach twice a day. We love swimming. And I think we say it a lot to ourselves. Say this weekend we came home from being away, drove down Mount Ousley and saw the Illawarra and thought, yeah, this is just so beautiful.
It's very different, isn't it?
It's unique.
It's a different place that you'll find anywhere else. And driving down Bullo Pass on Mount Ousley when you haven't been home for a long time is something very different. So Dave from SunPeople, lovely to talk to you.
You too.
And if anyone wants to find out more about that, so they can catch you online.
Sure. Yep. Our website is sunpeople.com.au. Absolutely. Feel free to jump on there and send us a message. We have a message box on there to write us an email or give us a call. More than happy to have a chat.
Good plug. All right, Dave, good to speak to you.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.